This, here's the, this used to be the John Gus's Hall, now it's
Did you walk that
DCR.
real trip?
I did.
What is this right here?
That's,
Basically, all she's doing is
DCR
just changing
headquarters?
the color, but that's
they're
all
on
it changed
Beaman
them all.
Street.
That's Beaman Street.
Crazy not.
Yeah.
140 right here, Beaman Street.
All right, oh, so we're higher up on,
Greenwich
So
has
this
got
is
the money
going
for it.
over,
all right, that's Laurel, I know Laurel, okay.
no, that's not
Wants
right.
to skin the top of it.
Yeah, that
All
way
the-
you
all the
are
towns
out,
gave it
well,
1,000.
except for the L.
Okay.
This is the DCR building.
All right.
Yeah.
This is
Where did
going
she
across
buy
the
the
river.
dense
Yeah.
in Oakdale,
Yeah,
okay?
the top?
And this is the road right before it. This connects over to Prescott Street.
Yeah, you need that
why
three-quart
are
stone in
town
there.
hall 12, that's just weird.
I used to be able to drive,
Yeah.
you used to be able to drive through there with a car.
Can I get a motion to open the meeting?
I make a motion, to open the meeting.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye,
You see where it is?
yep.
You have that, folder, Tobe?
Public hearing?
Sorry.
You all set, Emily?
Who elected me the spokesperson?
You do such an excellent job.
You missed that vote?
West Boylston Conservation Commission Public Hearing Notice. A public hearing will be held in accordance with General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, on the application of Thompson Liston Associates, Inc., agent of Checker Real Estate LLC. Request for determination of applicability for the construction of an accessible entrance to a tenant space, including accessible parking and an accessible walk to a tenant space on the northerly side of the building, and resurfacing of the parking lot in the spring at 216 West Boylston Street, West Boylston, Mass. Public hearing will be held on Monday, November 5th, 2018, at 7 p.m. at the West Boylston Town Offices, 140 Worcester Street, West Boylston, Mass.
Bill will outnumbered here, I'm just saying.
You're on.
You wait.
Good evening.
Can you give me that then?
I'm Patrick Healy from Thompson Listing Associates. This is Michael Chase from Checker Real Estate LLC. So,
Chase,
what he's proposing is several different tenant spaces within the building. They got a special permit from the planning board back in 2016 for a business center use, which allows multiple tenants in the building. So now we're about to fit out some of those tenant spaces. So we have to develop some accessible entrances into those spaces. Looking at tenant space number 2 over here, and we're looking at putting a new entrance on this side of the building, over near the loading docks, and building an accessible route, sidewalk, and public parking spaces here. So you have a blow-up of this area, but I just wanted to give you an overall sense of where that is on the site. So off-site in this area, there's a bordered vegetated wetland. This functions as a detention basin for this site and the neighboring plaza. They both have reciprocal drainage easements over the two properties. Back when this was a drive-in movie theater, a lot of the swamp was filled and it was channelized, so it comes around here in a stream. There's also a discharge here from the state highway, and there's a discharge here from the site drainage. So we're able to fit this into the landscape pretty neatly without a lot of grade change, just by following the grass area up next to the ramp that goes into the building. If you get out there, you see there's a drive-in ramp to a door that gives access for trucks into the building. This would be just adjacent to that. So we have to have a grade that's 2% or less for the accessible parking spaces, and then the sidewalk coming out has to be 5% or less. So we do have to kind of drag that out to make it accessible. So there's a slight increase in impervious area for these 2 parking spaces that's proposed. Those would pitch back into the existing paved area, into the existing stormwater system. We have to put traps on these catch basins as part of the project. So I think given the small amount of disturbance that we're proposing, I filed this as a request for determination. We're proposing a continuous line of siltation control along the limit of work there to protect the wetland. And, I think we can do it pretty reasonably without opening up a large area.
Who does the maintenance on that? Do you do it, or does Andy do it? The maintenance,
Like the snow plowing and stuff?
well, we trim the vegetation. He usually does it like in August, September. It must be
Yeah,
Andy.
Ceridian does that.
Yeah, Ceridian, okay.
Basin, yes.
About how many square feet you think you're gonna, for new parking spaces and things like that?
The impervious area
Yeah.
or the disturbance?
Impervious.
It's just like 800 to 1,000 square feet. Total exposed area, if it's all opened up at once, is just under 2,000 square feet.
Doesn't sound like.
So how many entrances you make at this time, just one?
So for this tenant, number 2, that we're proposing to fit out, there would be one double door entrance there with a sidewalk coming down. So you have a blow up of this in your package. You can see how they make the
Yeah, so they're coming in the regular entrance.
Here, this sidewalk coming down, and we're building up 2 parking spaces there that are
So
accessible.
that building is gonna be subdivided?
Yes, it's already been partially subdivided, so he's got some additional tenants lined up at this point. So this would create an entrance on this side of the building. Over here, tenant number 3 will be the next space to be fitted out. We'll be putting a new sidewalk on, to a new entrance on this side of the building. That's outside the buffer zone. And that leaves, one additional tenant space here. We'll have to put a new entrance on that at some point to make it accessible.
May I ask what's gonna go in there?
Which one?
Tenant space number 2 is proposed as it's a business called Recess. That's an adult, indoor entertainment, type establishment with a liquor license. They've already approached the town about getting the liquor license. So they would have indoor games like, basketball hoops, kickball, beanbag toss, and some things like that.
So
What
where,
about the what about the others?
Tenant space number 3 over here, there's a, tenant, in line for that. That's a service agency for people with autism. The other 2 spaces have not been leased at this point.
Very good.
so for tenant number 2, where's the rest of the parking?
So there's 195 parking spaces on site that would be shared between the tenants. So there's plenty of parking here to serve the needs. Then we put a stripe down the side of the parking lot so they can walk down and see, the direction to get to the entrance. We're keeping the trucking docks open at this point, so it's not practical to just come in and paint that little area of parking spaces. Once we know what the other tenants are, we may come back and do that.
So is that the only work you're doing in the zone right there? Is that, anything in the future? Do you need to do anything in the future in this zone? In the wetlands?
So this is the only work that's proposed in the buffer zone.
Yeah,
I don't foresee the need to do any other buffer zone. work.
nothing else in the future? Okay.
As I said, we'll be building a new entrance here. There may be a small playground involved with that too, in this grass area now. But that's outside the buffer zone. And if there's a tenant entrance built to this space, that would also be outside the buffer zone.
You said they're gonna repave the parking lot?
Oh, so yes, the second request on here was to determine what permits are necessary to repave the parking lot. We'd like to do that in spring.
You gonna grind it, or you just gonna rip the whole thing up?
I think we'd like to talk about what the options are, so we understand the implications.
It was just looking like it was time, so I figured.
I'm sorry?
It was looking like it was getting time, so I figured we'd figure out what we needed to do for early next year.
Well, I think from us, we just gotta make sure that, if you're within the 100 feet, just, wattles, hay bales, silt fence.
I just do the wattles.
Yeah.
It's not that big a deal.
If you're within the 100 feet of the wetlands, if you do the pavement over, be it grinding or whatever you may do, if you're within the 100 feet, we would like to see wattles put up.
Wattles are like hay bales and stuff?
Well,
Yeah,
they're
they're
actually,
rolled. They
they're
look like a
rolled.
giant sausage.
Yeah,
Okay,
they call them a sock, they call them wattles.
okay, they absorb stuff so it doesn't get past the.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
You're not gonna really have any disturbance. You're just taking up the area that's already been disturbed.
Right.
Yes.
But I'm asking you gonna remove the asphalt, you gonna dig it up, or you just
So I
gonna
have
grind
to
it?
start getting quotes on
Yeah.
that, I just didn't know what was involved.
Yeah,
It looks to me like it, and I have limited knowledge, may need to be ground up and redone
Right,
completely.
I think just from us, so long as you, if you're within the 100 feet, you just put the wattles in, regardless if you grind it,
Any of those answers.
you know, surface
Right.
plane it or
Yeah.
whatever.
And as long as the footprint doesn't change,
Correct.
we're good.
Yeah.
That's the only restriction there is, there isn't any other restriction.
There
There
isn't
isn't
any, no.
No,
Because your drainage is gonna be drainage, it's already
Right.
in,
Right.
and obviously your pitch is gonna stay the same.
that parking lot's been there for several years.
The parking lot, is that what you said?
It's been there for several years.
Yeah, the whole time I've owned it, which is 20. Probably.
Oh, more than that,
No, but I know I haven't redone it in 20 years.
yeah.
Other than
That was the old bowling alley one
I
time.
know, somebody gave me a bowling pin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from that alley, they said. I'm
They
not
hand it to
sure.
you or throw it at you?
It was pleasant, at the time they handed it to me.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with what he's
No.
doing. You wanna make a
I don't
motion?
either.
We need a motion to close the public hearing.
Yeah.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
I make a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Anybody from the public?
I'm not gonna object.
Oh, before you leave tonight, if you could just sign that.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I just do a negative.
You know, my father dug all the footings for that when it was the bowl, I'm in the construction, but yeah, and he dug all the footings for that building when it was
How,
built.
can I just, if you know, what part of it was the bowling alley? Because it seems to me lots of it, I don't know. Was it just
that-
this?
That and in the back, in the part in the back,
The warehouse too?
yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know.
No, this is a vote, public hearing.
So we have a vote on the public hearing, we're closing it, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Public discussion? None?
I make a motion to approve, their plan with the, for both, with the wattles for the paving and the, sidewalk,
Yeah.
and
I agree.
as long as they use wattles, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever's, alright?
Yeah, that way they don't have to come back.
Right, exactly, then you don't have to come back to see us.
We're gonna vote on both of them tonight, so you can have to come back.
Great.
As long as your footprint stays the same, we're
Right.
good.
Should we leave or we stay or?
So we need a second.
Okay.
Second on that?
I second.
Okay.
All right, all in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
That was the vote.
now you're all set?
How's
Yep.
it?
Thank you very much.
That's it.
Good night.
That's great. Thank you.
You won't get much easier than that.
No, it doesn't. I really appreciate it.
No, we appreciate the work.
I gave him a liquor license.
Did you?
I gave him a liquor license for that.
Oh, yeah.
Got a
What
cold
are we
coming
doing?
on?
Keep going.
What's in it?
Dodgeball,
Cold coming up.
cornhole.
How old are these people
Go,
doing
go.
this?
That's what we get so far.
Some kind of a bug that won't go away.
Yeah?
Dave had the same thing.
They're not gonna dodge much meat.
Oh my God.
$15 entry.
Dave, how long ago was that, did your father do that?
Oh, back in the sixties.
Was it the sixties?
Yeah, yeah, but he
Yep,
dug all
come
the
on up.
footings for that, when it was originally the bowling alley.
So what did he do? He dug
He dug all,
Bill was
he
late.
did
Sit right up here, we don't bite.
footings for the foundation for that building.
Yeah?
It was built back in the sixties.
Wasn't it?
Wow.
The drive, no, the drive was next door with Salters.
Oh, okay.
And believe it or
Back
not, we
there.
still have the
That
same,
was the
machine. We still have that
That's
machine.
right.
No, they don't need the
They
good,
used
they
to
don't
dig
need the
that.
good stuff. They,
Isn't it
that,
something?
they need the good.
I remember.
Yeah, I had a
Made
Representing
stuff.
Greenway, is that right?
That drive, that's a whole, God.
Yeah, I went once.
Some of
All
you
right.
I've met before, not all, but,
Most of them, we know pretty much everybody, all right?
so this is Rich Berry.
How you doing?
And
How you
I'm
doing,
Colin Abrams, and we're here for Wachusett Greenways, and we're continuing to work on the Mass Central Rail Trail. And so far, our new project is the Pleasant Street section of Colden, which has had a review by the Board of Selectmen saying, yes, go ahead and build a trail there, by the DPW that reviewed it and also looked at Shaken Brook and the possible areas of future hopes for new bridge or culvert or whatever you wanna call it, replacement of what was under Prescott Street here. And who else looked at it? And then DCR looked at it to look at the whole layout and
Who from DCR looked at it?
John Scannell.
Oh, John did it, okay.
That Pleasant Street, is that owned by the,
That's town,
it's town?
it's town, but adjacent to it on both sides is DCR.
Okay.
So all the culverts, everything, you know, it's just, it's almost like the rail trail. The rail trail is owned by the town, but the DCR owns the adjoining land.
The
So
abutting property. the abutting property.
Yeah, exactly, and so,
Do you have a map?
and also because,
I think they have the maps right here.
because it's like a full partnership all the way through,
Yeah.
so we wanna make sure everyone, first of all, that everyone is content with the plan, and secondly, that the construction is done and we have an approach to it. Anybody who can give us input that's helpful, that's what we'll.
Now, who will be doing the construction there?
Okay, so the construction on Pleasant Street, and the second piece, which
No,
we
you-
need to
Okay.
talk about tonight, is
No, it's
not
not
just
the same.
Pleasant Street, because
Not
you
quite,
now,
well, there's more information
did
here.
you give them both maps?
No,
Maybe
there's
one at a
nothing.
time. Which one did they get first?
Pleasant.
Okay, so just like in. Okay, so this is just Pleasant Street we're talking about, but we are also,
I don't
before we
think
leave
kids
here,
go.
we are going to talk about,
Thank you.
what do you call it, upgrading or restoration or repair of the existing West
Rail.
Boylston section of the Mass Central Rail Trail, which we've been hoping to make some, it's just basically drainage improvements and ditch cleaning, but it needs some machine work. And at different times, the West Boylston DPW has worked on it, the DCR, EGen, so different people have taken turns on the.
So this is on TV, so just explain to everybody where exactly it is.
Okay, so.
Start with this one first, okay?
Okay, Pleasant Street, we'll start with. Pleasant Street is the existing or old town road, it's not an abandoned road, it's a.
Paper road, for lack of a
No, it's
better
not a
word.
paper road.
Is that a legitimate road?
No, that's,
It's only paved a certain rate, 100 feet.
that's a road that goes all the way to Prescott Street, and years ago, you could drive through that and go all the way to the end.
It's maybe about 1,000 feet, isn't it? Less than that?
It could be a little bit more than that.
Yeah,
It
so it's, you know how long it is, tell them how long it is.
Yeah, from the gate, you see the number at the very end of the street here? From the gate, which is about, I think it's 350 feet to the yellow gate, it's 4,200 feet to the end of this road.
Okay.
It's 4325.
Those are actually, Colleen had marked off where these culverts pipes were, so I just put down for reference, for her use primarily. How many feet it is from the gate, so we know where they are.
Okay.
That's how I put them on the map.
John, they used to plow that too.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there any houses on it?
No, nothing.
There used to be something
So
on
when
it,
you
wasn't
look
it?
at when you look at the map, that will show you where the house, like there are houses up the hill that go along.
That's what I thought, isn't there one house right on the right-hand side up there?
Oh,
Yeah, there's two
that
roads
lane used to
there.
butt, C.K. Smith's farm. If you drove through here, if you drove up through here, okay, all up and through here, that used to be C.K. Smith's farm. But, whatchamacallit, Ali had bought the
Yeah,
land.
about the,
Yeah, and he's developed in here, but the farm used to go all up in here and abut to the, DCR property, which
I
is
never,
back
I
then.
never realized it went all the way
Yeah.
up there.
Yeah, they used to actually plow that, the town used to plow that.
And the DCI has their sign right here, isn't it, the entrance?
It's gated on both ends.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it would officially be called a closed road because.
Why did
because it's-
they, close that off? Do you have any idea?
It's before my time, I don't know. It must, I mean, when River Street was closed, it was by agreement, I think, of both Holden and West Boylston, that it not.
We closed River Street because of the condition of the road.
Right,
That's what it- that's
Well,
what
and
it
if you
was.
look at the condition of this road, it's pretty bad. But it's, I mean, it makes a wonderful, it's sort of like any corridor, it makes a wonderful
Yeah,
rail trail or multi-use trail for now, and, you know, it's potential that something.
Which is what she's talking about, she wants to come down, hook into the existing. So
Yeah,
it'd be
so the goal-
how's
continuation.
she gonna get across?
How are you gonna get across that?
Okay, so,
Bill,
Well-
this is the,
Yeah, and the other rail trail's down here.
yeah, and how, what are you gonna do? Swim
Walk
across there?
on the road. No, I walk across on the road, there's a road down below.
How are you gonna walk across the water?
so here's, you
I'm
want,
not.
you want the whole, so what we're looking for tonight from the Conservation Commission is the specific approval of the upgrading or the
And by upgrading,
The
you're gonna change some of the drainage, or do some of the drainage over?
What we're looking for is to replace some culverts that are either a little small or need repair of the area on either end, head wall, some cleaning up. And there are a total of 6 existing culverts, and that's what's marked on your map. The final, so if you get to Prescott Street, the big culvert at the end, which takes a little brook that comes into Washaken Brook, that one is, it's a 3-foot culvert in very good condition, we're not touching that one. There are 4 culverts that we're going to replace that are existing culverts. there are two places where there's a sump, where it appears from up and down of the road, both sides of the road, that it was a culvert there, but it's filled in, or it just hasn't been maintained. So either those two culverts, or someplace nearby, we will either add or repair the culverts to make sure that there's adequate drainage. And there's one, so in the first section of the trail, this is the first section coming from Route 140, just inside that yellow gate, the water just pummels down that hill. And the first culvert, from the gate to the first culvert, is over 500 feet. And our intention is to split the distance and put a culvert at about 250 feet.
What's C540, C760?
That's my doing. I took her notes, and I wanted to try and condense what I put on the page. So the only way you would know is if I explained it, like the first one is add culvert. It's at 250 feet from the gate. Replace culvert, 540 feet from the gate. So just I'm just trying to keep it,
Yeah.
straight.
So
Well, a good
culvert,
culvert.
the P and C, because I had the same question, P and C is basically the same thing. It's changing a pipe.
Okay, so
Are you-
basically you wanna replace two of them. You wanna replace two
We
of them.
wanna replace 4, and we wanna
Here it
add.
says two.
You wanna repair
Well,
to,
culvert, whether we call it a culvert or a pipe, there's still the culvert, so that's more confusion, but what we're trying to do is replace 4 pipes and add,
to,
it's add or reestablish, I don't know, because there's a sump there may be pipes in those sumps, but there may not be any pipes at this time, or they may be crushed what's in there, or they may be very small, I don't know. So those two are, and then one is a new location, add a new culvert, which is at 250 feet. It's halfway from the
Yeah, I
entry
see that
gate.
right there.
Yeah, it's that one, halfway between the entry gate and the first culvert.
and you wanna add
So
one.
you're counting that as number 4.
There's 9 total, and 2 we're doing nothing to, that leaves 7. 4 we're replacing, that leaves 3 we're adding. So 2 of the adds may not be really adds, there's sumps there, we're probably gonna make those into operational culverts. 1 is new, that totals 9.
Are you taking the asphalt off the street?
There is no answer.
There isn't
Oh,
any
it's
there.
all gone?
It's all
The
gravel.
asphalt comes in
Oh.
about
Yeah,
maybe,
from the gate path back, it's all gravel, all the way up.
Oh, from the gate back, yeah.
Yeah, from that gate to Prescott Street, this is all gravel.
the asphalt continues in maybe 100 or 200 feet
I don't even
beyond
think,
the,
I don't even think
100
that's
feet.
far, yeah.
A little ways beyond the old gate.
For all practical purposes, from that gate to Prescott Street, it's gravel.
Do you need to do anything to that gravel?
Yes, the water is running down the road. The gravel is getting deeper and deeper eroded with our 10 extra inches of rain that we've had in
Yeah.
the Worcester area in
I bet.
this season. It's,
Right.
just from the time we first looked at it, these last 2 and 3 inches of rain, it's like, it's really killing
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
people get, places get washed out that they never got washed out
I know.
before.
That was one of her questions, where can she buy dense grade? Cheap or reasonable?
Okay, now Perkins carries it. Worcester Sand and Gravel carries it. Keating carries it. PJ Keating up in Lunenburg.
Have you priced any of those places?
Some of those, and we've got 2 other.
Holden Traplock carries it.
Yeah, we've purchased a lot from Holden Truck Rock. That's quite a distance from there, so we're trying to keep. it as
Perkins
close
might
as
be one of your better ones.
Perkins is right here in Sterling.
Yep, we've bought a lot from Perkins over
Yeah.
the years too, but
Yeah.
there's a couple of other new ones that we haven't used before that we're gonna contact their
Yeah.
locals, so we'll see between all of them.
Pretty much, the perk back you can get it any place that mines the rock, the
You gonna make
granite.
it there?
They have a quarry,
Yeah.
like Holden Traplock, Perkins, Keating.
Keeping on our list? Cool.
You should take Dave's number, so,
I have-
this is what he actually does
But
for work, so
I
he
didn't
knows
think I should
it.
call you about working prior to having a conservation commission, you're sort of like,
Sure.
keep your business separate, so that's why I came to do this part first. We
Okay.
came to do this part, which is just to make sure that we are doing whatever we need to do.
Mhm.
So,
Is-
the,
So you're thinking about perk back in the whole gravel area?
that whole thing needs drainage, and some places it needs the drainage swales cleaned and other places added, especially along the field area.
Couple of them been large,
Wherever
you know,
it's-
they're all filled in with
Yeah,
them
right.
I mean,
over the
wherever it
years.
can sheet off, but there's, you know, it's basically a hill, and, you know, there's a flat thing that goes along maybe 400 or 500 feet. From either end, you've got slopes, and anytime, that's been our issue, when we're on the flat rail bed, we don't have to maintain, I mean, we have to maintain, but we don't have to go in and do gravel work or machine
Yeah,
work.
cause
As soon as you're down these slopes,
yeah, the upper side is worse than the left. If you're coming off of 140, the right side is steeper because the banking goes up.
Right.
yes, but it also, as you come down the other side of the street, it goes off pretty sharply to the downhill side,
Drops
so.
real quick right in
It's,
here.
So which way would the water, which would it,
It's
would it flow
going down
to?
this way.
Towards the reservoir?
Yeah.
All the water goes down.
This whole grade, John, pitches this way.
Huh?
John, this whole grade pitches this way.
So everything goes towards the reservoir?
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
What you gotta do is get a small dozer in here, clean off this whole top, clean out that swale all the way down there and put the culverts in.
And then put some nice gravel down. And
Right.
roll it, crown it, roll it,
Mhm.
and then next year, we would add stone dust. You know,
I'm sorry?
next year, we would add the stone dust, we put the stone dust down with the paver and we roll
You
it.
want dense grade, you don't want stone dust, it's gonna wind up down in the reservoir.
No, here's why we need stone dust for the top. just-
Oh, the very, very
because
top.
Yeah, it's a frosting on any part of the trail. We never want more than an inch or two of stone dust, but it's what's needed to make a smooth surface for the baby carriages and
Right.
all the full range of use that it gets. We had one section that we just gravelled in Holden, and ultimately the people grumbled, and if you, even if walking on it, you know, if you get
Well,
bad
dense
knee-
grade is not that, it's a mix between 3 or 4 different stones.
It's just, you do all that, it's only a thin layer of stone dust, but thin and rolled and compacted,
Right.
that's how it goes on.
Is there any additional parking up here for cars?
There will not yet be any parking, in some future phase, somewhere.
Well, the only place you can put it is on the pavement as you go in.
Because if they're parking over here, is there,
Okay,
like a place to walk on that bridge?
okay, so that's
Otherwise, how can you
separate-
get
that's
over
not
there?
part of this project or part of what we're asking permission for, but I've heard you say, what's happening, what's the plan? So here's the plan, is to take the trail from the existing, where the parking at Thomas Street, where that bollard is at the entrance to the trail, come across the parking lot at the, basically at the, just after it necks down. Not making sense.
You could use this map if you want.
Oh, to show where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna do that, or no?
Okay, yep. Do they have this map?
No.
Oh.
Somebody will have to share it, there's only half a dozen.
Is that this one here?
Nope, different one.
It's a bigger. Oh, I see, yeah, this is the map of the other thing we're gonna talk to you about, the repair of the actual trail, but that's fine, of the existing trail, I should say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you may wanna save one for yourself,
Oh.
maybe.
Yeah,
that-
from
so you can
file.
speak to it. Oh, you go in there? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So
we
she
need
can
that
describe
one?
it.
Thank you.
So
Okay.
follow, okay, so up on the trail at Thomas Street. Where are we? I'm the worst
Yeah,
at
you
that.
don't have to do, maybe turn it towards them and use your finger to show them where you're talking
Well,
about.
they're looking at it, so I'm gonna look at it too, but where am I to start? Put me on. Okay, Beaman Street, so here's the, so you hop on the trail, oh, this does it show, oh yeah, I see where the trail is. You come across the field to the parking area, doesn't really show the parking here, does it? You cross over, I think it's May Street, right there next to 140. There's a little corner lot right there that is actually a DCR lot, so the trail will come right along the edge. Then we have to cross over 140, cross over the Beaman Street Causeway. And
Yeah,
that
but
would-
can you walk over that causeway?
Cannot, well, there's a sidewalk over part of it, but there's no sidewalk.
So how are you gonna walk over there?
It's not yet, this is what's
Phase two.
coming, and part of what is our intended construction, what the DCR is going to do the design and engineering, and we've already given them half of the design and engineering money as our 50% match on the grant, is to prepare the plan for a bridge that will bridge along Beaman Street. We'll cross over the railroad, we'll go adjacent to the causeway, and cross over Stillwater River, and it's about 800, 900 feet long total.
You're actually gonna bridge
That's our intent, I hope.
the causeway, I mean, bridge the the reservoir there?
Cool.
Strong enough to hold just human weight?
10 feet wide.
Yeah.
Pedestrian way, not vehicle way, because for emergency entrance, they'll just have to go from either side. If you had to stretcher somebody, I guess it'd be 400 feet or 500 feet from either
Right.
side. And this is something that the town asked for 25 years ago, or 20 years ago, when we started the rail trail, and when DCR was repairing that arched historic bridge over the Stillwater. And they determined at that time that there wasn't enough weight-bearing capacity of the existing structure to add the cantilevered multi-use pathway. So nothing was done at that time. We've been in discussion in the town, Board of Selectmen has at various points written letters of support. We've actually worked on grants for construction on either end of the causeway. So crossing of 140, which will require a little new.
So that bridge, what is it gonna be, a metal bridge, concrete bridge?
Things that have been discussed, the kind of bridges we've used so far are these like continental,
Bailey Bridge?
they're continental bridges. Have you been over the bridges that are over the Quinnapoxet on the rail trail in the holding section?
No, I have not.
So those bridges they're arched, self-weathering steel, and there's ipe wood decking, rainforest, durable wood. Those can be maybe slippery in the winter, I don't know. This is a little different because we don't have anywhere else. We have bridges, very similar bridges, except one is, I think, Wagner.
Did you ever hear of a Bailey Bridge?
Yes,
The military uses them a lot.
Yeah, but you gotta touch the water
And
with
people
those.
Touch the water with them.
You gotta put a pontoon in the water.
No, you don't.
Are these similar to the ones that they did down in
Reinforcement.
Worcester Millbury with the Blackstone?
Oh, and you just
River
go hang with
trails.
an
I
arch.
think our bridges will be,
Okay,
I
I see
think they'll
what
be
you're doing.
lighter weight, less weight.
I don't think you
bearing.
can make that span with a Bailey, can you?
And one of the
One
engineers,
arch?
it's probably, what we're anticipating, what we've done so far is we have sections of bridge, like when we have a 100-foot bridge, we have two 50-foot sections that get bolted together.
Right.
The arch is really important. They've talked about concrete piers and a concrete bridge, they've talked about different kinds of deck materials, and recently one of the engineers was talking about using aluminum. I don't know. I think anything that's not salt, that's less salt impacted would probably be good. I think all the options will be carefully reviewed before anything's done. And as you probably know, going over the railroad is always a challenge, so that would take a while. It took us going under I-190 to do the rail trail under I-190, that's not even a bridge. But it took 1 year to get permission to go under the West Boylston section through DOT and the whole review that takes place. And then it took another whole year to continue on and go on in the holding section, because we didn't realize it was two different review processes for two different towns. So we thought, we'll just keep going, but nope, we had to start over again, that took another whole year.
All right, I have another question for you.
Yes,
Crossing the railroad,
yes,
how are you gonna do that?
has to have a bridge. And,
Across the railroad? Okay.
just like you have to have a bridge over Stillwater. The other
But the thing of it
bridges-
is, with that, crossing the railroad, you have to have high enough so the trains can go underneath.
Yes, yep. And it has to be high enough for the new standard, and the existing bridge on the road is not at the new standard. So, we're not gonna change, we're not talking
Yeah.
about changing the road bridge, but it's just like if you do something new, you wanna do it to the newer.
Yeah, new standards, correct.
Where's the railroad
That's
on
interesting,
here?
because, it's interesting to think that the DCR is gonna allow a bridge going over the, a new bridge going over the water. They're so protective
I know,
over the reservoir that, just surprises me.
Maybe John's seen the light.
it's,
Well, all I can do is try.
On here, where's the railroad?
the railroad, can you show it from there? Can you show where the railroad
Yeah, I
goes?
believe it's,
It's right here.
it's
isn't
right
it?
here,
Right
right?
Right here.
On the orientation.
What is this?
Yeah, right. So from this side, as I understand, it would cross the railroad first, then it would have to cross the river.
So the railroad's right here?
There's the intersection.
Actually,
It's right here.
yeah, I think it passes right underneath there, right? So
No,
it's-
Thomas should have
This
to
is
be-
Right.
This is the continuation of it right here, isn't it?
This is
'Cause
the
it has
railroad right
span
here.
right there.
Ah, okay.
So there,
Oh, that's
right
the
there.
railroad, all right,
No,
So we go over that first.
okay.
I can, when I'm on the loan, I can look at a map and get, well, there's a bunch of people on.
Oh, you know what that is? That's a railroad. That's the
Somebody
actual
show me where
railroad.
that
Okay.
is.
So this is the
Across,
railroad,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah,
the other
that's the
phase,
railroad.
she's
Oh, that's
looking at,
good.
is put a
Mark it
bridge
around.
right there.
There we go,
Yeah.
now I know where we
You
are.
got it in red, that would be the
That's the new
railroad.
bridge, the
Red
stone
railroad.
bridge there.
Okay, yeah.
I know the rail trail, I know that well.
It's
That
been
must be
something
their
we've been
easement.
trying to do for a
Yeah,
very
that's
long
what they
time,
show.
and
Yeah.
it's not inexpensive, it's very
Oh,
wide.
no,
But
yeah.
when you look
This is
at
the
the
railroad?
Zachem
And
Bridge,
who's gonna pay for this?
when you look at the Zachem Bridge, and that's what, they started to laugh at me in Boston, they said the Zachem Bridge, I'm like, well, or if you go and sit with DOT in Worcester and look at the bridge that goes over the Quinsigamon Lake.
That was only 92 million.
Oh, that only took forever.
Uh-huh, well, when Wachusett Greenways went under, now I'm bragging, so sorry. But when we went under Route 56 in Rutland, they gave us 6 weeks to build that tunnel.
Really?
And they were, and it meant, it wasn't because the school buses were gonna start in 6 weeks. And we completed it in 5 weeks. And the road has not settled in any way. And we went out and bought an extra $10,000 worth of gravel at the last minute because some of our fill kind of disappeared. And it didn't matter. That road, the guardrails, the drainage, the pavement, the tunnel itself is all solid.
So,
So, we're not gonna do this in 5 weeks, and it's a little beyond us in terms of the permitting and the engineering and all of it. I mean, we were doing all that with volunteer engineers.
so, answer my question, who's paying for this?
Okay, so who's paying for the design and engineering of the
Everything.
bridge? Well, I'm gonna give you the first step, so design and engineering. They just approved $650,000 for the rail, isn't that crazy? Something, design, just for the design and engineering or something. But ours is anticipated to be, I don't like to say it in a public place, because then it's but anyway, we've.
You don't have to say the amount, I'm just curious.
Wachusett Greenway has already given the state our half of the design and engineering.
They got matching funds from the state.
So that's a partnership matching fund, but it's not a grant program. And in the past, partnership matching funds, they have allowed us to do the work. Money from the partnership matching fund went into the tunnel under Route 56, and it went into several other projects, bridges. And we were allowed to do it, but no longer do they allow anyone except DCR to manage the partnership matching fund. So now they will manage it, their engineer will be the contact engineer with an engineering firm to design it, and we will put in half the cash, which we will.
And your engineering firm is VHB on that.
No, for us, no, it's not selected yet. That's one of several potential. Is there something else? Well, it may be for something else they're doing on the Mass Central Rail Trail, but not for this.
I was
Nobody's-
just with them Wednesday night.
Well, they're working on another section, but not
Right.
this. They probably are. The MCRT is 104 miles from Northampton to Boston. And DCR, that's one of the reasons why we think this will probably go through this time, is because DCR is working on that whole 104 mile. In some areas, they're actually doing it.
So,
Not so
that's
much
how-
in Iron,
that's how long the rail trail will be?
Northampton to Boston, along the
Wow.
Mason. Now, will every section be on the rail bed? No. Like in Holden, houses are built on a pretty good sized section, so we've had to go around and use different route, put it together. And in other places, they're putting it together the best they can, squeezing it in wherever they can. And who will pay for the bridge itself? It'll probably happen through DOT, probably DOT. And that may make it take a little longer. We've shied away from that all along because, we got money for one of the tunnels from Mass Office of Travel and Tourism and from a local foundation and from our own funds. And the recreation trail. We kind of piece it together because usually we can progress more steadily that way. As soon as you get DOT, it seems like sometimes that changes the pace of things and the cost of things. But for this project, as you rightly noted, there's some pretty big challenges. And when you're trying to go over the railroad, you really gotta make sure everything's right. And we need professionals to
Now,
help us.
going over the railroad, do you have to get permission from the railroad?
I'm sure we do. But enough of the design firms that we've talked to, some of them go, oh, they don't wanna deal with it, but then they have done it, and they do it. It's not the same thing as getting permission to operate, you know, a railroad trail, something in there right away. Although over them, I'm sure is considered.
If you've ever ridden on the commuter rail that goes from like Worcester to Boston,
Yeah,
and it makes frequent stops as it goes to Boston and vice versa, you'll see they'll do a stop and there'll be a bridge over where the train goes under for, you know, for people to walk from one side to the other. They've been there for quite a long time, I'm sure. I don't know if any new ones, but I'm sure they've reconstructed the old ones, I would assume.
The other thing is DOT themselves said, go look at the Bruce Freeman Trail, the Route 2A bridge in Acton. So we went to their dedication, looked at their bridge. That was,
No, I didn't make it.
like $6 million or something, $8 million. And we just went to the state bike ped conference in Boston, we were both there.
Yeah.
And what kind of prices did we hear for some of their bridges and projects?
Oh my, they were talking about, what was it, the Blackstone one down to Rhode Island?
Yeah,
They talked about 5 bridges over, I forget what it was,
This is for
5 miles or
Yeah,
something,
one
and
before
they
this.
spent 14 million or something.
yeah, so there's
The
14
checker.
million, another project is 20 million. So we think that this bridge actually will end up being much more modest than any of those figures. But when I saw where they put the 2A bridge and the wetlands all around and how they turned that thing, and, I mean, we do some amazing things when they do. And in our opinion, there's a value to our whole community to have multi-use trails that people can use. And the commissioner of DCR said, well, do you wanna just put the bridge somewhere else, or can you go farther up the Stillwater? And the answer is no. You, the town of West Boylston, also want this connection for people coming over 140 when they go around the reservoir, when they go past the stone church. All this ties together with an existing town infrastructure for, you know, bicycles, pedestrians, whatever. So it just makes sense to put that, to make a bridge there. I mean, we always think it has. It was actually in the 2002 bond bill that Harriet Chairman put in, but a bond bill was transportation bond bill, and bond bill doesn't mean anything until somebody
Funds it.
activates it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like poof. We never, it's not that anyone didn't do what they said, it's that we never pursued. But also that the town of 56 in Rutland was also in the bond bill. And we actually ended up constructing it ourselves for less money than what had been in the bond bill.
Alright, so from us you need,
Basically,
is
just
it
looking for.
repair or?
Yeah, I just put it under maintenance. Because that's really what it is. They're gonna clean off the top, they're gonna open up the swale, they're gonna put in some culverts, and they're gonna retop it,
So the town owns this road,
right?
DCR owns below it and above it.
On either side of it.
They own
They
everything,
own this and
they
this,
own everything around.
all the green.
Okay.
When do you anticipate doing this?
ASAP. In part because some of our funding is grant funding, and some of that we need to use a chunk before the end of the year. We've got like 4 or 5 different projects, and so we've gotta find the one that, this is the right one to do now. And this is one that we hope to. The other reason is that there's wood turtle natural heritage in the zone close to Washington Brook, so that's toward the Prescott end. And that requires work done late fall into the winter. So it actually works out well to do the disturbance part now, and then again, we would do the final. in the
When do you
spring.
physically wanna start work?
We would like to start within, as soon as we get it contracted out, so within, 2 weeks, not much more than that. We're ready to
For
roll.
us, we need some paperwork, not that we couldn't give you an emergency because of the weather. I need you to file an RDA, request for determination, we'd give you a negative finding, and base it on, maintenance, and with the file a maintenance contract, whatever you usually do, to cut trees, you remove leaves, what do you usually do?
Not much trees. This section, so elsewhere. there's
No,
not
I've
much.
walked it, but I
And
mean,
so
I'm
this
just,
section has maybe 10 trees.
I'm just giving you an idea what we'd need on the maintenance, you must have one in your file someplace.
We've never done one, no.
You don't do maintenance, no?
Well, we do maintenance all the time, but we don't have a conservation commission related maintenance.
So if we had, the reason I'd like to see something like that, you know, we'll take down obstructions. If a tree falls across, you're gonna go cut it with a saw and get it off the trail. Because outside of that, every time you do something, you're gonna have to come back in here.
Right.
Where the other way, all you gotta do is call me up and say, I've gotta do this, and I go, great, go do it.
So oftentimes in the past, because a lot of our items are on DCR land,
Mhm.
they've actually done the filing, or they've done the hearing with the Conservation Commission, and
Right.
there was a damage to an abutment because.
But see, if I had maintenance, like,
And they did it as permanent.
DCR will come to us and they do spraying, they do it every single year. And they'll call us up, we're gonna do spraying, such and such a date, great, go do it.
They do
Cause it's
spray.
part of the maintenance. You'll have invasive species and that type of thing that they'll get rid of. They may hand pull it, I say spray it.
They handful it, you're sure they do, okay.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about goats, so don't get down this.
Yeah.
So, do they need a public hearing? So you guys file a thing with?
They're gonna need one
Send in notice,
eventually,
yeah.
right, cause we don't have any paperwork. I have no problem
Right.
tonight letting them go forward as long as I've got a motion.
But
'Cause
do
I
you-
know
do
what they're
you
gonna
want-
do.
So, I know we talked about filling out the RDA together,
Right.
and,
And I would help you write it out and,
yeah, and Rich is much more
So I mean,
organized.
we can get a motion on the board to do it right now to go forward, but for the
Okay, so-
files and for other people that may be watching this, I need paperwork to back me up. So I need what they call an RDA, or request for determination. And then we'll just do it, and we're gonna file a maintenance program along with that. If a tree falls down on the trail, i.e., you're gonna
So-
do
so
it,
this
or
would be a
DCR's
permanent
gonna.
maintenance program.
Right, and then when you have a problem,
Because
you
we
just
have
call
that
us and you
for-
do it.
for damage underneath with the beaver activity and
Well, yeah, but you had
one
that,
of the bridges.
well, remember when we did the bridge over there on the actual rail trail?
Yep.
On the other side, that was, we had an RDA for that. We did, look it up, I can guarantee
No,
it.
I'm not just, somebody else always does. But-
Well, someone else is me, so I need,
Okay, yes, I-
you met someone else, there you go.
Okay, so is it possible that Rich could meet with you at?
Oh, yeah,
mutual
absolutely.
convenience to
Yep.
work out the paperwork?
Yep, no problem.
So you need a motion now to plan and proceed with the understanding they're gonna file paperwork?
Right, exactly.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Discussion, seeing none.
Okay, so can you give me, so that we have it in writing, clear instruction, or do you give us something in writing that says what is the what is the nature of the emergency permission that we have?
The nature is the weather, because you come fast coming on to winter
So you're
here.
saying you can
Yeah.
proceed with the actual
Right.
construction now,
It'll be in my minutes, I'll send you a copy of that.
and the RDA will be completed before the next.
Right, we're gonna file for that, and so I'll get together with you,
Yeah, how do I contact you?
just give it right to the board, or I'll give him my phone,
I'm gonna
that's fine.
contact
Oh,
you.
yeah, you've got the
I'll-
phone
I'll
anyway.
send it.
Okay.
And, usually I come in Sunday morning, we meet Sunday morning,
Anytime you wish, whatever you say.
that's the only time I got left.
Uh,
Retirement's not all it's cracked up to be.
All right, but we could start. And then for the repair on the West Boylston existing section,
Yes,
there's one culvert we want to add, and Rich put that on your map, can you see that map and see where that one is?
this is on the original one?
Yep. that was the one. The whole trail. And do you see add culvert at the very, back up there, close to one ninety, it's pretty close to the 190 spot. And there's one place there where, again, maybe there was a culvert or something, cause it's depressed on either side.
What I'll do is I'll add that to the same thing,
That'd be fine.
and,
Actually,
we'll-
leave the whole thing as a permanent.
right, and then we'll just add it on as maintenance, so that in future years, I'm gonna do this. And usually we like to see it done like in, July, August, September, something when it's dry. Not now when I get the groundwater coming out of the ground.
This year's.
And I think
Brutal.
the other thing, Bill, is, before they do the maintenance, just notify us somehow.
Well, yeah, that's a normal thing. I actually have a list of things you have to do, which basically is a phone call. A lot of times I'll go out,
Do we call conservation?
Call
Commission, or
conservation,
do we
yeah, just call conservation.
Call.
and usually I'll meet you there, just show me what you're gonna do, and we do it that way. I don't really bring the whole board out, I usually do it
But in
myself.
this case, you feel like you've just seen what the intent.
Oh, I know exactly what you're doing, yeah.
That's good that you took the time to come out.
So,
It really helps to show somebody.
well, it just makes it easier on the board, because outside of that, I gotta go do a site visit and just, you know, some of us aren't as mobile as we could be.
See, I have to work, you know, I have a job to do. I got a
Here we
business to
go,
run,
here we go.
you know?
I'm sorry, I heard laughter there. All right, is that, so a little bit of this was talking about really the side thing where the trail is going.
Right.
That will all require more
So-
discussion.
So you're good, and I'll
If
see you
I'll
on,
call you and we'll
Okay.
pick a time on Sunday and,
it won't take long.
yeah, show me what to do and I'll do it.
Good
Yeah.
luck.
Don't call him too early, because he'll be sleeping.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm retired, so I may be sleeping too.
There you go, there you go.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Have a nice day. A nice night, Brad.
Thank you.
Did you sign our slip over there?
Oh, I see, there you are. I feel like you look so familiar.
I don't know.
Is it from here?
I'm from here.
Oh, every time I pick it up, I'm like, where have I seen you?
Yeah. Born and raised here.
One of these is good.
Bill, what's the update on the flag house?
I don't know, I mean, I went down and saw him, and I don't know where, do you know where, what planner?
Well,
Did you approve his license? Flag?
planning board did.
You did, okay. I just went down and told him, I said, you know, you're out of compliance with your impervious material. I showed him what I would do, I would just grind it here and pitch it over towards.
Well, I understand they had a public hearing in, Rochester, they approved it. I don't know for sure, but he said he did.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I thought the plan was fine. I mean, as far as tearing down the building, that's not even on the table.
Turn down what bill?
Oh, I heard all kinds of weird things out of that board, so I just didn't even, whatever.
They're gonna name that bridge after you, you know, if you donate it.
I don't really have any more update on
I
that.
think we'll be long, I think we'll be dead by the time that thing,
What's that? The on flag?
It kinda surprised me, Billy,
yeah.
you know, Bill?
What's that?
They brought the bridge and going over the water and the railroad.
I'm surprised, we got Kelly Square, and they're gonna be 25%, they started 2 months ago, and they're gonna be 25% done in January on the plan. And that entire section is gonna be
Well-
done in June of 20.
The reason why I'm saying it surprises me, because we all know, not only as conservation members, but as the citizens of the town, how touchy the DCR is about protecting the Wachusett Reservoir.
But Mr. Scale now is a resident in this town.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's moving in up to Zigarelli's property.
Really?
Yep.
Say again? Yeah, we moved it to really the last house on the,
They did a lot of bridge,
first house on Wall Street on the left.
John, did he move?
Scale bought that?
Yeah, Scale.
He was Zingarelli?
Yeah.
He moved in to
He
Zingarelli?
hasn't moved in, they're building the house now.
Yeah.
they did a lot of bridge work down Millbury,
Some of the guys
Worcester
built
with
the
the,
Scale.
Blackstone Valley
No,
stuff.
Scale, I know that
A
for a
lot of
fact.
cool bridges.
The one next to
Yeah.
Zigarelli, the
You
black
can
one.
bike, you can walk.
There's a house
They
on it.
color coded it, so they're all different colors.
No, there's a lot in between.
Nice.
That one's
So
purple,
they built
one's
two houses.
blue, and,
Is it already up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a
Oh.
ranch house?
Yeah.
did you go down
I saw the plans for it, I didn't really.
So it
drops off at the
Yeah.
back.
It's
Yeah.
a walk-
46
ran
and
for
you
the
can
walk.
see them all?
Yeah.
Is that where Joey had it, cause that was the one
Wow,
that had the
I'll
problem
have to
with
notice,
the-
cause I mean, I
built it
go
in the
out
swamp.
that way a
Well,
lot.
they built it in-
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
haven't-
they both, well, they
Yeah.
both built in
One of the
swamp.
biggest ones, I
Guy built
think,
it in,
is right before the
Yeah, they just got arrested.
shops at Blackstone Valley. So if you're going south on one
Does Zingarelli
forty-six,
still live there?
No,
after
he sold.
the
He got all the money,
road,
got
there's a
five.
separate bridge
Yeah.
that's that side of it. That's
Yeah.
for the pedestrians and the
Yeah,
bikers.
he scored on that. I remember him
That's
coming
what I was
in and,
wondering if that
I'm
was
never
gonna
gonna
be
build,
like
I'm never gonna do anything.
And it's color?
He scored.
Yeah.
Color?
Yeah, all the stuff up top's all different colors. You know, each bridge has
But
its.
it gives you good tax base
Oh,
in the
that's
town.
interesting.
Yeah, but they did a lot of
And I didn't really
walkways and they
consider
got
that
over the
wetlands.
water
After it
and
had
over the
peat in it,
highways
there's
and
no question
everything.
it was peat. There was an old
Yeah.
that the drainage was never corrected.
Yeah, It seems a little sloppy on the bottom there.
Thanks, I made a
I went down there and I
presentation, so
showed
I
them
got
how
some
to
stuff
do
to
that
show
with
you.
the footing and that, to throw the steel in.
Yeah.
and that, and It'll be fine, it'll be fine. The builder's a good builder.
Caitlin, we
He's
used
built
to
several
raise
in
goats.
this town.
The
Okay.
one that's just going up or the one that
Pretty
has?
cool, my
the one
neighbors
just
have
going up,
goats,
not the
because
gray one,
they didn't
that
need a
other
permit,
one.
right? We're right to farm
Yeah.
community, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're cute, they're
Seems to
cute.
be.
My dog, he's actually
along.
scared of them.
Oh,
Almanac Way.
See the Tinker Toy going
Okay.
up where
So,
they cut
it's-
half the house?
I live
off
off
and,
Almanac, but the goats are on
Yeah, I know
the
where
corner
that
of
is on
Laurel,
Yeah, it's
no,
got
yeah,
long
what's it,
family,
Key
yeah.
Street
Yeah,
and Almanac,
Yeah, I
yeah.
know where the goats
See
are.
where that
Yeah, they
is.
chase my dog around.
Yeah.
They, yeah.
Well, there's the
You know, you get a billy
Yeah.
goat, you get a male one, a billy
Okay.
goat, so, you know, if you get.
Caitlin, you have
get-
any update on maintenance?
Lots of it, yeah,
All right.
Lots.
lots.
Okay.
Hope I
All
don't
right,
bore
go
you.
ahead.
See the screen, Bill?
So I'll show you guys.
Look at that.
So can everyone,
Can you make
Sorry.
that go on that? Cause I'm sure that's what that's for.
You need one of those,
I need an HDMI.
yeah, you,
I will send this around to people. I would love it if everyone saw it.
Okay.
So I did some research on Goatscaping and the Goatscaping company, which is the vendor that we would be working with. This is just, besides poison ivy, all of the bad invasive plants that they'll take care of. So this is a before and this is an after with goats.
Timmy and Emily, they eat everything.
Well, listen to what
If
she
you
has to
stand
say.
still, it'll
They
eat you
eat
too.
what you don't want first, she said.
So then here, yeah, so here's the before and here's the after with 2 weeks of goats. They talk about long-term solutions and how goats are much better than mechanical and pesticide application. They also talk about how when goats ingest seeds, that the seeds don't live through the bowels and stuff, so there's no chance of regrowth after. They don't eat seeds on the ground. And yeah, just talk about traditional methods. There's a ton of pesticides and stuff like that. Just in terms of long-term strategy for removing poison ivy is not good. So here's some pictures of goats I wanted to throw in to be cute. So benefits of goatscaping: no burning, no hauling away of debris, no herbicide in groundwater, no erosion, quiet and odorless. There's some more goats. Peaceful and amusing, organic fertilizer improves plants, maintains desirable low ground cover, eliminates brush and weeds while retaining trees, excellent for clearing stone walls, ledge, poison ivy, steep slopes, etc. And then I put this in, that it could definitely serve as an educational opportunity for our middle and high school. I think that would be an easy plug, but sustainable land use practices or invasive vegetation management. More goats. They talk about residential impact. So it's like I said, it's odorless. It comes with, so when you rent the goats, it comes with like an electric fence. So, and then they have their own, so when you rent the goats, you also kind of like rent the company. So then they have their goat tenders, if you will. So all of that comes with it, and goats don't bite or kick or anything. And they also have a $1 million general liability insurance.
so how long does it last when they do it?
The full year.
So you do it once a year?
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you have a price like per acre?
Yes.
It's $850, isn't it?
$750. Let me. So I can skip to that if you would like. So they do golf courses and the whole thing. Okay. So
I just,
there are two. So they would recommend 2 crews, which are 8 total goats. So there's 4 goats per crew. And 2 crews can eliminate a half an acre of poison ivy per week. So I did a little bit of math. I would have to figure out how many acres we would be working with in order to figure out how many goats we need and stuff like that. But if we would recommend 2 herds as opposed to 1. So if we had 2 herds at a full season, which is 20 weeks, that would be $10.50 a week or $21,000 total. Or 1 herd at 20 weeks, which would be $11,000 total. Or you could pay per week if you don't need the full season. But they recommend June and July. That's when the poison ivy is at eye level with the goats, and they'll eat that first. So once it's at eye level, they'll eat everything at eye level, and then they go for the other stuff, and they go for other invasive plants. but like if you get the goats in September, it might be too short or something for them. Or if you do it in April, it might be too short for them, and they'll eat other things, and then they might be not hungry for the poison ivy, so then they leave some poison ivy. So they said best practice is get it June and July, and we can. I mean, I don't know how many acres we're working with, so it's kind of hard for me to give you guys like, okay, option A has this price, option B has this price. I have, I can send all this out to you, and this is what the proposal is. We would just have to figure out next steps was how many acres we need covered.
How many you think, Dave?
God, I don't know. I haven't a clue. I wouldn't even know how to figure
haven't
it,
a clue.
because you get so many different
Would
areas.
Butch Gardner do it or not?
No.
One of the problems,
yeah.
John.
Huh?
You know, it's not,
So
It's not
how do
one-
we
it's not
figure out how
140,000
many
square
acres
foot
if
lot,
nobody
right.
has any idea?
see,
I know, 'cause
where
it's just
it's
so many
really
different
bad is along one forty.
I know.
Along the
There's
guardrails. You can't put the goats there, they're gonna get hit by cars.
They'll stole them. If
Huh?
it starts working, people come by and grab them, put them in the car, take all.
No, good. Thieving.
You think this comes under Trump's jobs coming back, goat herders?
Can't export this
You're too much, Bill.
one. I mean,
I just have an imagination.
so $21,000 half acre?
For two herds, which are 8 goats over 20 weeks. So that would be 21,000. So that would be assuming that it says 2 crews can eliminate a half acre per week. So 2 herds at 8 acres over 20 weeks. That would be 10 acres, right?
So, who's gonna pay for this? We're gonna
Well-
pass the hat around?
It's a big hat.
I guess so.
I think the DCI should pay for a good portion of it. I mean, I think,
DCI's gonna pass around a yarmulke, come on.
Pass around what?
I think,
You're gonna pass around a rickshaw for very long.
one thing I seriously think, if we could get this proposal to the board, and we can, ask DCI to, if we get a figure on it. First of all, we gotta figure out how much we got there.
Well, that's, right, first
How would
place
you do
is,
that? I don't understand that.
first, well, you can get a rough idea with the linear feet by the width, you get a square footage.
Yeah, you're gonna have square foot,
But
because you're only gonna go down, what, 10 or 12 feet? Then you're gonna go down.
But the problem is though, John, is where I see a lot of it is along Beaman Street,
Right,
140 going by
yeah.
DCR building, along the guardrail there. I mean, you can't have the goats there, they're gonna get hit by a car.
Yeah.
How well contained are they, do you know? They said it was an electric
Electric
fence.
fence?
Yeah, they're pretty well contained. And there's been a bunch of other municipalities that have done this. Duxbury, Hanson, Marlboro, Framingham.
Check Marlboro. Marlboro's a similar area to us.
You'd have to put them on the opposite side of the fence, on the downslope, you know?
First of all, so we'd have to put a fence, electronic fence up, they have to put some, I'm assuming.
Yeah, they take care of it, so.
No, I just trying to figure out the logistics of it, so how you could do it, make it safe for everybody.
Right.
I mean, they kinda show 'em in all different-
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, they have to have figured that part out if they've been
Yeah.
doing it in all these towns and all these
Yeah.
places without people getting hurt or goats getting killed, so.
Yeah, they show them by roads, they show them
Yeah.
in every, they didn't give me any crazy limitations like that. But I can reach out, that could be one of my questions.
But, do you know what I'm talking about, on 140 over by the DCR building,
Mm-hmm,
Beaman Road, right?
Beaman Road?
Yeah.
They get the steel guardrail,
mm-hmm,
and you see it, the poison ivy's overrun, it's just a lot, coming over the top of it. So if you're gonna have the goats, they'd have to be on the downside of it. You follow me?
mm-hmm.
In other words, here's the guardrail here, here's the road here, you'd have to have them on the downside.
But if it's on DCR land, wouldn't we try to get DCR to
I
pay for
just
it?
wanna protect the goats that they don't get killed by a car or something, hit by a car. That's all I'm saying.
I think we come up with a proposal, an idea of what we need, and ask DCI to do it.
They may do it, especially on that road.
I think it's a great
I mean,
idea.
the square footage, that's not that, I don't think that's gonna be that hard to figure that out,
Yeah,
because,
because you're gonna take like a 30, 40-foot swatch and you're just gonna go down.
yeah, what are you gonna, a quarter of a mile?
Yeah, but we
Yeah.
gotta figure out how many places in the town it's gonna be, it would be needed.
Right,
and how much
right.
space.
The square footage, it's not that difficult to figure out a proximity of the square footage.
The other thing you wanna know is how many herds can we get? There's no sense having them here for 20 weeks.
Right,
If the primary is only 8 weeks.
sure, absolutely.
You gonna poison ivy at your house?
Will they move
Actually,
from place
I
to
do.
place?
On the other side of
Yep,
the wall.
they'll
huh?
take care of anything if we
Oh my
say,
God.
yeah, so
Not
we
a
just,
problem on the
we
other
just
side of
pay
the
for the
wall.
time and, you
Yeah.
know,
I
so,
refuse to use
Takes a
mine.
couple
This
weeks,
area,
they'll
this
move 'em.
area,
Oh, yeah.
that area, and they-
yeah.
Yeah.
So like we rent the goats and them and the
Not much
fence
you can
and,
use.
What do they do? Do they take them every day? Do they take them away? Or they leave them there?
Are they
No, they stay there as far as
unionized?
I know.
I do not know that,
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Yeah, what's prevailing wage on this?
how do you protect them, like, I know, through the woods, like, with coyotes and
I
stuff?
would assume they would be gone take them out every night because of
Oh, yeah,
coyotes.
boss trailers or
Get
something.
an electric fence around it.
No, the wet fence is not gonna keep,
Coyote out.
Coyote out.
Because the electric fence works off the collar.
It keeps things in.
In other words, all the goats gonna have to have a collar on it. you know.
so maybe maybe they do pick them up every night.
Maybe they.
Where is this
They
coming
work 8 to
from?
4.
Yeah.
That's it.
Duxbury,
Half
Half off for
With a
lunch,
lunch
50
break.
South
coffee
Shore,
in the morning.
Massachusetts,
No
South Shore,
lunch break. It would be the opposite
Cohasset,
kind of
you know,
lunch break.
yeah.
Yeah, they don't need lunch break. Now you got a poop break.
I was thinking that for funding, we could, at least if we turn it into an educational piece and, you know, we talk about, you know, the sustainability message, we can, a lot of towns, had GoFundMe, so you guys familiar with GoFundMe?
Yep.
So we could even do a fundraising campaign, and, you know, talk about the advantages of it, and then as an educational opportunity as well.
Or some grants, I'm sure there's some grants for it.
I asked her about it, she wasn't familiar with it for a lot of those grants
Okay.
for goatscaping. But another cool thing about goatscaping is because there would be no pesticide application, we wouldn't have to create a vegetation management plan at all.
Oh, that'd be
So
great.
that would mean that we wouldn't have to do all that work, that would save us time, that would save us effort. So that's another plus of the goats is no, we don't have to create a VMP. Otherwise, we have to go through a month, like, very long process of creating a VMP. And still dish out money for pesticides and stuff.
Right.
So there's still money to be, you know, it's gonna cost money in either way.
Like I said, I'd like to find out what, you know, what Bill was talking about the guardrail, so how do we keep them safe, you know, Dave, that's what we're worried
Yeah,
about.
that's what I'm worried about, John.
Okay. I can, I'll write that down, I'll ask the person tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
think,
why I said
I love the idea.
I would call Marlboro, cause they got similar situations that we have.
Yeah,
Are they gonna be inside the guardrail?
That's the only way I can see that, Cal. They'd have to be inside the
Yeah,
guardrail.
but that's, why would that be a concern then with the cars?
If they jumped over.
Unless
the-
they jump over?
Yeah, and goats can jump.
Oh, yeah, they can go anywhere.
I've never seen it.
I bet they could put the electric fence
Never
wall
saw a goat?
along
Well,
the
no, I've
guardrail.
seen them,
Yeah,
I've
would
never
think so.
had
So then
anything
they
to
just
do
don't jump
with
over the
it,
guardrail
you
because
know?
the fence is there.
Yeah.
Only goats can see it's in the
Some
butcher shop.
good-looking goats.
It's not that there would be any issues
And they're
with
not
it.
that active.
They better know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've been around for a
My
while.
friend had them, on the
Well,
vineyard, and they
they're
just
really
stayed there. Now granted, it was vineyard, that's it,
My luck.
their backyard.
I'd end up with.
But they didn't come and go every night. Yeah, they're no good in the vineyard either. You know,
Alright, so we're gonna
'cause that's
find
the only
out
enemy they would have.
about that situation, and then, so we need to get a total idea of the acreage too.
Yeah, I need to know acreage, I think, yeah.
Okay, moving right along, yeah.
What's the best
We're
way to
not
do
done
that,
yet.
Dave?
Oh, not done?
No.
We
Dave,
have more goats?
what's the best way to get an estimate on the,
I mean, I guess we're gonna have to pick the spots where we think is, you know, more vital than
Yeah.
others. And what comes to mind with me is the one by the DCR building.
I agree about that. That's what everybody complains about.
So let's, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say it's probably, from where the old stone church is down to,
The reservoir.
down to the reservoir, what are you talking, half a mile,
Yeah.
roughly? I mean, you can hop in
How
the
far are you
car.
coming? You're gonna go like from
These-
the edge of the road down 30 feet?
Yeah, you can go about a half a mile long. So you got 30 by half a mile is what, 2,200 feet, 2,300 feet?
2,500 feet,
Yeah, 2,500 feet, 25 times 3, 30
So-
rather,
so
will
7,500.
give you the square footage.
And do we have a
So
foot?
75,000, so that's like 2 acres.
Oh, so yeah, the 20 weeks would be if we needed at least 10 acres.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Well, that's only one spot though.
okay.
That's only
Okay.
one area, so.
Maybe you wanna do it like in a pilot program to see how well it works.
Yes.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that'd be a
idea,
good
Bill.
recommendation, we
Yeah.
start off with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
yeah.
So if you're looking at, What would you say, 2 acres?
2 acres
Say-
max.
What did it say, it takes a week to do a half acre?
Yes, two crews can eliminate half acre per week.
So
If you
say,
got 2 acres, that's
so say 4 weeks.
4 weeks, a month.
So what does that cost, Kate?
For what?
A month.
4 months, for a month?
So it'd be two crews are 1,300 a week, so times 4, 5,000 around-ish.
Yeah, 5,200, yeah. That's not bad, I mean, but by the time you pay
Oh,
your spray and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
They can't spray.
and this is not harmful to anything.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
You know, and plus they're fertilizing as they go.
I don't think these have an issue
John.
with multiple.
No.
Plus they're
And they
fertilizing.
fertilize it for you too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
so-
true.
And then
Let's,
Cal, you
uh,
can go up there, take a look at it, take a picture
I'll
of it.
see, I'll just see what the
So
buzz
you
is.
can, you find out about the, guardrail, how they handle
Okay,
that
I will.
situation.
Yep.
And if you want, next week we can bring it in front, and put something together and bring it in front of the board, and then we can ask the DCR to fund it.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
So which board and when is this?
So the board of selectmen asked the DCR to fund it.
You
Okay,
think they would fund that, John?
I do.
I do, especially on a pilot program,
That'd be
because it
great.
shows that they're innovative, which
That's-
they're not.
that'd be
but
nice.
Cause that's what everybody
Working on it.
complains about. That's what everybody in town complains about, is the,
That
road
road.
now over there.
So you're looking at roughly $5,000 for a month.
yeah, yep.
And that would clear that whole side.
Yeah, and like I said, that's a good, that's like good pilot, and maybe we can expand it
Right.
to other areas.
We actually could advertise that, I bet you get a bunch of people go down and watch
That's
them
what
do
I'm
it.
saying, yeah.
Would be interesting.
Yeah.
We can get you a sheep
So you
staff.
on board
there,
now,
you
Bill?
can go down
I'm a city.
there. Yeah, we're gonna make you a country
So-
bumpkin man.
Pictures.
I'll ask about those questions. Can I send this presentation to you guys?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, and then, what about like meeting with Anita or anything for like the comprehensive master plan or anything like that we should put in?
Well, I don't think this, I don't think you should.
You don't
to
need,
do
this isn't necessary?
I don't,
Especially if this is gonna go, if this, if we can get the MDC or the DCR ready to pay for it.
yeah.
Yeah, I would just put it together, what it is, the pricing, how many they do, describe what you're gonna do.
Sure.
And then I would do a cover letter to the Board of Selectmen and let them take it,
Yeah.
Okay,
all right?
okay, yeah,
Because DCR really is,
Right.
who put it in their ballgame.
sure. Would you guys like me to go to that Board of Selectmen meeting or what, I just don't know the etiquette, the protocol.
Yeah, well, let's see what, come up with, for a price, and maybe we can try to get an agenda and, it would have to be after the next meeting.
When's the next meeting, John?
Or it would
Board
have,
of Selectmen's.
every 2 weeks.
Yeah, so when's the next one?
Wednesday.
This coming?
That's the other thing you should do, check on availability, see if you can get them in June.
Mhm.
Everybody may want them those 2
Yeah.
months,
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a good idea, that is a good question.
because you want optimum, you wanna make this thing as good as you can make it, especially in a pilot.
Yeah.
Well, this thing has to come back in front of us at the next meeting.
All right.
Then we can vote on what we should put in the letter.
Yeah, 'cause we get time.
And, yeah, cause you have another 6 months.
Right.
Then we'll send it to the board like in January or something.
Okay,
Kate, is that a PowerPoint you've got?
it is.
Would you mind emailing it?
Yeah, I'm gonna email it out to the group.
Great.
Yeah.
Now, one last question. The optimum time for this would be June and July?
June and July, yeah.
June and July.
Yep.
So school would still be in session during June.
Yeah, June would be a good month for that.
Yeah.
Plus, as the, kind of the year's winding down,
Yeah.
I bet more
It's a
teachers will let their
perfect
kids
kind
go
of
out and see it,
project
you know?
Yeah.
for kids
Yeah.
at that time of the year, yeah.
Yeah,
That's good. That's great work.
I bet if we advertise it like that and talk about it, people would be
Yeah.
willing to donate to the GoFundMe even if it's $10-20 and
Yeah. Good.
fund something.
Lots of pictures of goats in the item, I can
Yeah.
just see it now.
Alright, so I'll pass it to everyone. Okay, so we'll talk about it at the next Conservation Commission meeting in December.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's skip right to the minutes. Anybody read them?
I did, I said she did a good job.
Got a motion?
Make a motion to
I
approve.
move we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. Electronic reminder, we really don't have anything on that. Evolving fund information, got nothing on that.
We don't mind, do we?
No, so,
What was the update on the flag?
I don't have one. They passed, the zoning. So evidently our recommendations to zoning, they okayed it. So they're gonna grind, my understanding is they were gonna grind the tail end of that and just grade it,
Okay.
and that was it. And that passed as impervious.
And no slap on the wrist for having done this all together?
I didn't get into discipline. That's not what they asked me. Yeah, just go ahead and leave it. I mean, it'll all mat down, you know that. I got drainage right there, that's really what I want the water going there.
Treasurer's report.
Tentative Concom meeting calendar. Did everybody look at the calendar, any
Yep.
changes in dates?
That's fine.
Okay. Treasurer's report, we're broke.
Yeah.
We're always
way to put it.
broke.
Miscellaneous mail and paperwork, I just read it all.
Does the calendar look all right to everybody? I
Yep.
could send it to Nancy? Okay.
Next scheduled meeting is December 3rd, and I need someone to make a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody.
Kenny, you did a good job on that.
Thank you. Thank
That was a good
you.
job.
I like it. I like this stuff. It's
Well,
my
that's
passion, actually, so.
I don't know if Dave's ever
easy.
gonna get over these goats, but we'll see.
As long as you don't hurt the ghost. That's all I care about.
No, that's a valid point. I get that.
No, really, I just,
Yeah.
No goats, no goats escaping.
That's as far as I go.
So we all set? Take it easy, folks.
Kyle, have a good night. Say hi to Diane for me.
So is Carl an official member now, or what?
Is who?
Is Carl
Wednesday
an
night.
official member?
Yes.
He's still an associate.
No,
No.
it's an official,
No.
well, Wednesday night he'll be official.